I am in the midst of the fire of God, pulsating from within. I send my pulsating flame to each light bearer in the earth, within the earth, beyond the earth. I send this flame then to each one who would serve the flame of God through self-effacement. Accepting then the non-acceptance of human pride, I enter the precincts of your beings. I salute all keepers of the flame throughout the world who share in the growing Antakarana, the great web of light that is made up of so many souls who are on the path of the ascended masters, yet perhaps not tied to this activity and this inner walk with God that all of you share. I have striven mightily over the years, beloved ones, to reach levels of higher and higher consciousness, that I might be worthy to so give to God and to humanity the fruits of my causal body. These are fruits from my tree of life, from the very beginning, when we were one in God, and all twin flames were as one fiery ovoid. From that moment, beloved, we remained for some time in holy innocence, and then with the coming of laggards, fallen angels, and attacks upon the souls of many in the earth, the compromise took place, and most all who are here this night, if not all, came down the chute into duality and began mighty efforts to regain that level of perfection in God which they once knew. We have all known these heights, beloved, and to these heights we aspire to return. Therefore, on this, the celebration of my Ascension Day, I come to you with great and profound love. I speak to you then regarding what I have been doing since the years of my absence from among you. What I have been doing, beloved, is to sow the seeds of Christ's magnificence in all light bearers of this planet, this solar system, and wherever the fires of my heart might reach across the galaxies. I have sent light waves almost beyond the stars, beloved, to claim one soul of light, one sheep who has gone astray. I have worked tirelessly in the service of the Great White Brotherhood, for I have desired to fulfill my reason for being, that I might give you more and more and more of my causal body. Therefore, on this occasion, I also give you more. And I trust that you will understand, as many have told you, how much more difficult it is to erase karma by doing good works when you are out of the body in the etheric octave. Thus, I counsel you to accelerate mightily, that you might have the fulfillment of your manifestation of karma, so as the great law has allowed it, so as the great law has blessed you. In these days of great and major change in this organization, I am especially with you one and all, from the least unto the greatest. And I give to each one that which is meet, comprehensible, that which the individual may internalize and digest, and therefore give acceleration to this community. It is a wondrous thing to enter the new age of Aquarius and to have such wonderful leadership in this organization. And I, your beloved LANELLO, bow to each and every one of you who is in a leadership position, and to all of you whom I count as leaders. for you are leading someone beside yourself every day of your life. You are setting an example. It is shouted from the rooftops, as I have mentioned before, when the television sets sent forth their focuses on the roofs of the houses of the nations. So we have understood that we are shouting the message from the housetops of the worlds, connection by connection. Now satellite and acceleration day by day in technology finds it hard put then to remain standing still, and that which is the latest today is almost out of league with the tomorrow. In these realizations, beloved, notice also this, that you are becoming more and more of self as you merge with your Holy Christ self, not just once in a while, but hour by hour and 24 hours a day, walking with that very special teacher. Beloved ones, there is no such thing as a carbon copy of the Holy Christ self. Each one's Holy Christ self is totally and utterly unique. Therefore, you might think that there is a long line of cut-out soldiers coming together and coming apart like an accordion, but it is not so. Your Holy Christ self has a very special personality. That personality comes from long manifestation of being the Christ in action. Thus, beloved, you have unique talents. Those talents come from your Holy Christ self and from your labors in the field of this civilization and the planetary home. Realize then how different you are one from the other, and yet how you may be the all in all as the universal one. Are we not then as molecules of light unique unto ourselves? And when we merge, do not we find then that togetherness whereby all of the individual molecules that make up that Christ presence, that also becomes then that peripheral manifestation that brings uniqueness everywhere throughout the cosmos, and for this reason the cosmos does expand. You have been told that many souls are waiting to enter into embodiment on earth. That need has never been greater, beloved. I call upon all of you, whether you will ever be parents, whether you have been parents, I ask you then to perfect the Christhood within you, so that you may receive souls who are fragmented, who are burdened, who are sorrowing, who are carrying levels that go back thousands of years of sorrow which they have not reconciled. Blessed ones, you have come to the altar where the flame of the Ark of the Covenant does burn. It is focused in the great quartz that you find at the feet of the lower figure in the chart. That manifestation is the chalice of the flame of the Ark of the Covenant, and it is by sponsorship of the Great White Brotherhood and the lineage under which you serve that that flame has been placed here in King Arthur's court. That flame then burns here at the crossroads of the etheric octave. That flame burns on, beloved, and when you come to the court and you meditate upon that flame and that chaliced crystal, understand what it means for that flame to be alive and well on planet Earth. You will recall when Sanat Kumara came, there was scarcely an individual that had a threefold flame. And so Sanat Kumara reignited flames one by one. That is what is happening when you come to this altar and when you drink in the great elixir of that sacred fire. I then speak to you of your ability to self-transcend, to meet the challenges of the day, to balance the levels of the day, those of good karma, those of bad karma, then to gather all momentums of light and beauty and consciousness and reverence and love for one another, and to see that intensification, to see the intensification of light within you, and know that as you balance karma, there is a parallel line where you might also walk the way of MORYA, of the great adepts, of those who have brought us to this point in time and space. What I am saying, beloved, is that you can balance karma mightily. You can accelerate also in your own personal adeptship, in your own personal striving for greater and greater self-mastery. You do not need to wait until you are on the other side or until you have balanced 100% of your karma. This is the eternal now, and the eternal now has many facets of consciousness, many bright quartz crystals, if you will, carrying tremendous light to the earth and especially to your very own hearts. Think then not so much linearly, but think in terms of expanding spheres of consciousness, centered in the strength of your heart chakra and your holy Christ self, and going out in mighty spheres, increasing and increasing and increasing. Blessed ones, I am grateful to be with you on this day of the celebration of my ascension. I give to you, as you are able to receive, my mantle. I ask you to claim my mantle daily. I ask you to know me and to know my holy Christ self, to know us as one, and yet to know the individual in Christ as an identity also separate. Beams of light descend now from your I am presence. I am grateful for much accomplishment, much sacrifice, a tremendous amount of work that has gone into the restructuring of this community. Because you have performed this work and shall continue to perform it, beloved, this Church universal and triumphant will endure for many, many, many centuries to come, yea, even until the hour of the fulfillment of the reason for being of planet Earth. Setting then this momentum, setting this avenue that reaches almost to infinity, you can realize that whereas had you stayed with the old momentums and the old thought forms, you might not be here for any more than numbers of years. Having grasped, understood, internalized, and been willing to follow your leader in this path, you now have the opportunity to see the fruits of your labors be multiplied again and again and again. As I am seated here, I look at the endless highway, and this endless highway, beloved, leads to the throne of Alpha and Omega. You are building bridges to the great central sun. You are building bridges to the sun of Helios and Vesta. Yes, you are building bridges to the heart of your holy Christ self. This blessed disciplinarian keeps after you, beloved, for he knows what you must do in order to have your victory. Listen to that still small voice, for it is not so still or small at all. It sounds like thunder within the ear, and indeed it is, for your holy Christ self is stern with you, compelling you to shed those substances not of the light, and to enter into that bonding, that sacred bonding that will never be undone, the bonding of your soul to your holy Christ self, whereby you shall gain immortality. As I return to this place, or wherever you may be in the world, I shall remember and I shall remind you that we are about our Father's business. Remember then the ancient days of Atlantis. Remember when you walked and talked in the person of your holy Christ self, for that was the high attainment of the golden age of Atlantis, and especially of priests and priestesses who served in the temples there, many of these being among you. Realize then that there was a golden age but 11,500 years ago, and that golden age went down, beloved, and it has not been regained. The nation closest to that is the United States of America, having been sponsored by Saint Germain since the birth of this country. It is for this presence of Saint Germain in the land that there is a peculiar people, a people who desire to enter into the Godhead, to attain union, who do not fear to walk alone through the capstone of the pyramid and to enter into eternity, having fully balanced their karma, moving on then into cosmic cycles. Thus, beloved, take the opportunity, turn your world around so that you can turn around the world at large. All of this is within your reach and your grasp. Remember, your real self is your mighty I Am presence. Your true self is your holy Christ self. Therefore, draw down that power, wisdom, and love, and know the victory of your soul swiftly. I bow to the light within you, to all who hear me throughout the world, because of Saint Germain's technology. I bow to all of you, beloved. Know that we are tightening, and we no longer go by the spider's web, but by mighty cords of light that tie us together. Truly, we are one. I seal you in my heart, beloved, with all the magnanimity that I may send your way. I place my arms around you, around the world, around every light bearer and child and babe in arms. Yes, I come, beloved, and I am here solely because you yourselves are here. For this I thank you. I bid you adieu. Hail MORYA! Hail El MORYA! Hail El MORYA! Hail, keepers of the flame! You have come to this place, and well may it be said, your choices are true and right. Therefore I welcome to my heart this night all of you throughout the world who have tuned in to this glorious moment. Therefore we salute those who are here and those who are throughout the world, from Albuquerque, Bergen, Norway, Boise, Idaho, Boston, Massachusetts, Bozeman, Montana, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Calgary, Chicago, Dayton, Denver, Detroit, Helsinki, Finland, Indianapolis, Livingston, London, England, Los Angeles, McAllen, Minneapolis, Montreal, New York City, North Glastonbury, Oklahoma City, Ottawa, Philadelphia, Phoenix, Pittsburgh, Portland, Reno, Sacramento, Salt Lake City, San Antonio, San Diego, San Francisco, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Seattle, South Glastonbury, St. Louis, Missouri, Toronto, Canada, and Washington, D.C. My beloved Chelas, well do you understand the meaning of your presence here, and that understanding that I am about to impart to you shall give you, as at no other time in this history of the organization, an understanding of your path that is so specific and so revealing of that which you have given and that which you shall continue to give, that you might have the victory of your ascension. Therefore I speak of that victory in this hour, beloved, and I announce to you from the Darjeeling Council and from this very podium that this day your beloved LANELLO has completed the 100% balance of his karma. Mighty indeed is the pathway to the ascension, beloved, and happy are ye who are content to walk in this path. Those of you who have so walked shall find yourselves day after day, year after year, decade after decade, coming closer and closer to that point of victory. Now I ask you to be seated. The hour has come for many to be acknowledged in this community, those who have tarried long throughout many incarnations and thousands of years of Earth's schoolroom. Beloved ones, I speak to you of this Guru-Chela relationship, for many of you had stalwart hearts and great focuses of the manger scene already within your hearts thousands of years ago. But, beloved ones, it has come to pass that there were centuries upon centuries when you did not have the full teaching that you have this day, and the even greater teaching that is to come. So, beloved, when you found this activity and this path, as you have looked for it all over the world, you have known that you must find this place, this very place where you might connect with God, know that acceleration. And when you came, beloved, you learned of the violet flame, you learned of the power of dynamic decrees, you learned of the path of transmutation, service, selflessness, love. The full power of all of this has come upon you because you persevered until you finally found that place of the manger scene where the Christ child was a-borning in your hearts. And then you knew that above all you would find the entire road back home wide open to you. So, beloved, we are determined this night, we of the Darjeeling Council, to present to you members of this community who have made tremendous strides by their service and their path. This then I bring to you that you might realize just what great attainment is possible to every single light bearer upon earth. And therefore those of you who have made that contact with the flame of the Ark of the Covenant on this altar, I bid you go out into the world and circle the planet round and return again, going out and coming in again and again and again, until every last light bearer in this century and in centuries to come may know that path, may have that path, and may have that victory. Therefore, it is the vote of the entire Darjeeling Council this night to acknowledge those of you who have made tremendous strides on the path. Let us begin first with the history of those who have made their ascension. Some of you have heard these names, some of you have not, but we honor them this night, even as we shall honor many of you who are in the court. The first ascension of a light bearer coming out of this organization was Persis MacDonald. She ascended with 57% of her karma balanced. The next individual, Clara Louise Kinninger, balanced 90% of her karma and made her ascension. Beulah Haney, the Lady Beatitude, made her ascension having balanced 62% of her karma. Mark Prophet made his ascension having balanced 71% of his karma. Denny Cree made his ascension having balanced 68% of his karma. And his wife, Iva Cree, made the ascension with 53% of her karma balanced. Beloved Ruth Jones made her ascension with 68% of her karma balanced. Her husband, Sidney Jones, balanced his karma and made his ascension with 67% balanced. Leon Chagnon made his ascension having balanced 73% of his karma. Florence Jeanette Miller made her ascension having balanced 65% of her karma. George Lancaster made his ascension having balanced 65% of his karma. Marguerite Baker made her ascension having balanced 60% of her karma. Helen MacDonald made her ascension having balanced 53% of her karma. Marguerite Wurtzbaugh made her ascension having balanced 54% of her karma. Mary Lou Majerus, Lady Master Mary Lou, made her ascension having balanced 61% of her karma. Warren Carter made his ascension having balanced 54% of his karma. Alice Boscow, Lady Master Alice, balanced 78% of her karma before making her ascension. Ruth Hawkins balanced 61% of her karma and made her ascension. Ruth Farnham balanced 79% of her karma and made the ascension. Patricia Johnson balanced 54% of her karma and made her ascension. And Carol Hedgepeth balanced 70% of his karma. Ella Amber ascended having balanced 55% of her karma. Helen Reese made the ascension having balanced 60% of her karma. And Paul O'Neill made his ascension having balanced 77% of his karma. Thank you. Please be seated. I trust that all of you stand as initiates throughout the world, keepers of the flame who are on this patch, and those of you who are in this center. Therefore, I take the liberty, I, MORYA, take this liberty to announce to candidates for the Ascension that are coming out of this mystery school, Maitreya's mystery school, and this community of the Holy Spirit. These individuals that I shall report to you on have varying degrees of balancing of karma, and they are being given the opportunity to know this night, as I speak to you, how much karma they have balanced and how much karma they have to go. This is a tremendous boon, beloved, to know how much work you must give in order to have at least 51% at the hour of your ascension. I trust then that you will one and all receive this, and that you may also know that each individual from time to time during the darshan will have that opportunity, but in lesser numbers. This evening, the Darjeeling Council then gives to you these readings on individuals in this community who have been with the messengers some 10, 20, 30, and more years of service. Most of these individuals balanced their karma because they found the path, followed it with diligence, and were willing to bend the knee and cast out the dweller on the threshold of human pride. Thus I shall begin. The first candidate for the Ascension, Margaret Pemberton. She has balanced 68% of her karma. She wears the cape of the Chela. She is also wearing MORYA's ring. We bow to the light within you, Margaret. Please be seated. The second candidate, Ruth Bolton. Beloved Ruth, please stand. Where are you, Ruth? There you are. I ask you to withhold your applause until I have given everything to that candidate. Remain standing, please, Ruth. This information is given to you, each one, as I have said, because the Darjeeling Council wants you to know where you stand. Where you stand, beloved Ruth Bolton, there is a perpetual thought form of an eagle soaring to the sun over you. It is the background like a halo. You, beloved Ruth, have balanced 71% of your karma, and you're still going strong. Carl Showalter, please stand. Beloved Carl, you have balanced 65% of your karma. When you make your ascension, you will be working directly with beloved LANELLO. Please be seated. Beloved Celeste Hewlett, please stand. There you are. Right back there. Can everyone see here? Will you all look at Celeste? Beloved Celeste, you have balanced 61% of your karma. You completed 51% in this embodiment and earned an additional 10%, a total of 61% balanced karma. Congratulations. Beloved Reverend Denise Booth, please stand. Beloved Denise, Serapis Bey is standing behind you, his perpetual presence. You have recently balanced 51% of your karma, and that figure